Hello, this is Charles with Evershade Gaming, and welcome to another 9th Age Battle Report. I got a game in. This game it was like 3 weeks ago, like 4 weeks. This was like last month, honestly. I've just been lollygagging, getting the report out. This is how the field works, playing on that flat terrain board. It's got a forest, it's a field, a big water feature, a little couple hills, a building in the middle. So for magic, I rolled 2 3s, a 4, and a 6, taking pyromancy. So I kept 6, I kept 4, I took Scorching Salvo, and I took Pyroclastic Flow. Because I thought those are pretty good. I wish I would have had Flaming Swords, but, you know, it's like, do you want the Flow, or do you want the Flaming Swords? So I stuck with the Flow, because I want the Magic Missile. Playing Dwarves, want to put as much damage out on it as possible. So my opponent's list, he's got the Anvil Power, so I've got the Rune of Shattering, the Rune of Storms, and the Rune of Swift Striking. And those runes are so good, 36 inches, or something like that on all of them. All hexes, amazing. And then he's got the Seeker list, so he's got 2 different Seekers. I actually covered this list in the Michigan GT list review. Just to say, the Seekers are both decked out, they're both crazy. They really kill stuff. I'm terrified of both of them. He's got an Engineer with a Forge Repeater and a Shield, nice and cheap. Then he's got a Runic Smith. This is his general, actually, which is interesting. He's got Rune of Reckoning, Resilience, and Shield, and then he's got the Rune of Devouring to chop all my spells. And he's got a good armor save. So, and then in his core, he's got 14 Marksmen with gold-crafted handguns, Visitation Shields, standard rare, pretty normal. Nice little shooting unit. Then 10 Clan Warriors with Vanguard. These guys are supposed to keep up with his Seekers, I guess. And then he's got 22 Greybeards with Shield and a Gleaming Icon and a banner, so that's nice. And then he's got 1 Catapult with that's rune crafted, so it's like strength 4 and strength 8 under the hull. And then he's got a Cannon, 13 Seekers, Skirmishing and Vanguard, another 19 Seekers, Full Command and Vanguard, and then 1 Vengeance Seeker. And that's his entire list. In my EOS list, I got a Wizard Apprentice with the Scepter of Power and Ring of Fire, Pyromancy 4 spells. And then I have a Prelate, who's my general. He's got the Blessed Armor, Frederick the Great, so a 1-up, Crown of Autocracy, and a Duststone. Nice little one of rerollable build. And then I've got a Marshal with the Dragon Mantle and Ring of Fire and a Shield. So he's, you know, he's kind of cheap. I like the Ring of Fire. Or why do they both have Ring of Fires? Huh. I wonder if I messed that up in the game. You know, he's probably supposed to have... I don't know what else he's supposed to have. Yeah, I must have messed it up. Whatever, that's my fault. 44 Heavy Infantry. Full Command, I can Relentless Company. Rocket Halberds. 2 things of 5 Electoral Cavalry with Musicians, so they're, you know, cheap other than that. 10 Militia with Pistols and Skirmisher. Then I have 32 Imperial Guard with Shields and the Riding Banner. 4 Knights of Sun Griffin with Musician, Shields and Lances. 10 Flagellants. An Arcane Engine with the Arcane Shield, so it has Distracting. A single cannon, and then a Steam Tank. I haven't played with Steam Tank in a while, so I kind of wanted to give it a shot, put it back on the table. Yeah. So we played the new scenarios and new objectives, and we rolled up Dawn Assault. So this is an interesting one. Your deployment zone is a little bit taller. You're 14 inches up, because now you're only 10 inches from the center line. And then, but on the sides of your board, on 12 inches on both sides of your deployment zones, you can only have your cavalry, light troops, or scouting units in there. So I had, and then you have to keep 2 units in reserve. Or it's, I guess it's you choose. So I guess I probably didn't have to do that, but I chose to do it because I think it's interesting. So I kept both of my knight units back, which on hindsight was probably a terrible idea. And he kept back his unit of core warriors, like the big unit, the Greybeards, and his unit of the 10 dwarves at Vanguard. And then that's a good picture of what the deployment zones look like. So 10 inches from the middle, so you get to go 14 inches up, which is kind of cool. And then 10 inches on 12 inches on either side of your board. Only cavalry, light troops, or scouting units. So it's an interesting type of deployment. for sure. So, and then our objective. So it's capture the flags, which changed. Or I think it. I'm not sure. We had like a really big debate about this. Me and a couple of players there. It's to me reading the rules. It sounds like you can choose any units and you make them scoring units, and then it's the same thing where it's which one, whoever has the less many at the end of the game wins. I couldn't tell if that's what you're supposed to do if they don't have enough scoring units, or regardless. So I ended up choosing his artillery pieces, his cannon, his catapult, and his anvil power. And then he chose all my chaff, my riders, my I guess I had a unit of riders. I didn't see that on my list. I don't know. I don't think I was trying to cheat him. My riders, my militia, and my flagellants. So he chose my chaff. I chose his war machines. Not sure if that's how it works, or if you're just supposed to choose scoring, because otherwise he only has 3 scoring. And I think I have 4 scoring units in this. So for his deployment, he's got his vanguarding skirmishing seekers on the left, and then he's got all his war machines on the hill. And then the 20-man unit is also right there in the middle. And then that's all he's got left for deployment was the 10 more, or he's 10 crossbows. I have 5 riders in my list. I thought I had 5 riders. I don't know. I have 5 riders on the left. I played with them. Cannon on the hill. My arcane engine is behind the building, and so is my steam tank. And then I have my Imperial Guard to the right next to my steam tank, and my big block of halberdiers next to that. I've got my wizard and the halberdiers. I've got my prelate and my BSB in the Imperial Guard, and then my 10 militia is in front of that. And then I have 10 flagellants in the water, and I have on the far side of the board I have my demigryphs all the way on the right. This is a better picture of my characters. You see the wizard with the yellow robes, the BSB, and the prelate is on the right of the Imperial Guard. I vanguard my riders up not too far because he's got that vengeance seeker next to those other seekers, and then he vanguards like that. He just kind of ignores them, and he's pushing that one big unit right up in my face. And that's also where his engineer is. Dwarf, and then oh, this is just showing the scoring units. Yeah, the riders, all the tokens next to units are scoring, the scoring units. I don't know if we played that right or not. Dwarven holds turn 1. So yeah, he kind of like he gets that one big unit of seekers in my face. He brings both. Yeah, at this with Dawn Assault, your 2 reserve units come on turn 1. Regardless, they come on as ambushers. They come on regardless, and then he moves that other seeker kind of a weird angle around the building. He casts the lightning rune at my steam tank, but I dispel it, and then he shoots a cannonball at my Knights of the Sun Griffin. He kills 1 model. You know, he hits 3 wounds, and he does 3 wounds, and then they fail their leadership test and are off the board. I've decided I'm not taking Knights of the Sun Griffin without a gleaming icon from this point on. And then his catapult hits. I think it gets the partial hit, but it still does a decent amount of wounds. More if it, got a full hit. And then he shot at my militia with his handgunners, but they didn't do any wounds. EOS turn 1. I just kind of get the militia out of the way. I use the order to give them the extra movement. I position the arcane engine so that the seekers can't march through the building, and also it's still buffing my unit and in a good place to countercharge. And then I just kind of push them and got the militia out of the way to kind of use, I don't know, get in those handgunners' face, trying to get the flagellants over there. I wanted to get the demigryphs all the way over there, but I snicker them, but they're not going over there now. And then I can't remember what happened. Oh, that's right. He shot his forge repeater at these guys, the riders, and he killed 3, and they fled, and they didn't rally this turn, and they fled again. And then here are my knights coming on my turn 1. And I decided I was going to put them on this side, because again, I want to try and get those artillery pieces, because they're quote-unquote the scoring units I need to get this game. I don't believe... my cannon hits or does anything. So we go to Dwarvenhold's turn 2. He decides he's just gonna charge right in to my big block of Imperial Guard. Pretty scared because that that's the Grim Resolve Seeker, so he gets extra attacks for every model makes contact. So like he can mince my characters in one round basically. And then this is how he moves that other unit of Seekers just around the building to kind of stop those knights. And yeah, it's just like he's just moving up. He's a very aggressive dwarf army. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm really worried. He moved his other Seeker character out of the skirmishing Seekers, which was good though. Good for me, I felt. He cast the 2d6 strength 4 magic missile hex at the knights, kills 2 knights, and then he gets the +3 initiative rune off on the Seekers, so that's pretty scary. They're like, I think they're initiative 6 now with their paired weapons, so they're striking faster than everything in my unit. And then the catapult hits, oh, wipes out a whole line of my halberdiers. Poor heavy infantry. And the militia gets shot up, but they passed their practice, so that's good. Can still chat with them. And into combat. No challenges. The Grim Resolve Seeker only puts a couple, like 3 attacks on my BSB, and he only gets 1 wound through, so that was nice. But then he kills like 4 guys too. I kill 5. The good thing about this unit is I'm, parrying and I'm distracting him. And I think my prelate kills 1 more. So I think we end up winning combat, just by a little bit. So that was good. EOS turn 2, I give on the double to these guys again. And I charge my Arcane Engine in there. I mean, I just gotta, put some damage on these guys so the impact hits will help. And then I charge my Steam Tank into these guys. I was really happy to make that. Yeah. The riders keep fleeing and they flee off the board, so that stinks. Stink to use them. I'm pretty sure they're in the list. If not, doesn't matter. And my cannon shoots his engineer and kills him, so that was good. And then my pistols, they're chaffing this guy and they shoot him and they do 1 wound, so that was awesome too. With my Steam Tank, I used the impact hits because I wanted to try and take out as many as possible before they got to strike. Unfortunately, I only rolled 2, so I got a couple wounds there. Used the breath weapon. He didn't do any wounds to me, so it ends up, looking like that. He's down to 5 guys. And then in this combat, impact hits do 2 wounds. Then he kills. I think I use my champion now because I think I targeted his champion last time with just my unit. Kills my champion with his Grim Resolve dude, and then he kills 5 more Imperial Guard. And then I bring him down to only like 4 dwarves left, so not too bad actually. Dwarvenhold's turn 3. He charges his one of his Seeker Lords into my militia. They stand shoot. They can't get a wound through. I think I had a couple hits, and I just didn't roll any 5-ups. That would have been sweet. Just kill him right there. That would have been so ridiculous. And then he starts. He's got that Vengeance Seeker and those 10 dwarves kind of playing defensive role over there. He's moving that 1 unit of Greybeards up. I think my Flagellants failed to charge last turn, had to charge, so yeah, I don't know how I'm going to beat that unit of Greybeards with my Halberdiers. They just keep getting diminished from the catapult. I lose, oh man, he hits my one of my 5-pack of Knights with a magic missile, kills like 4, and then he gets the initiative spell off, or he gets, I think, -1 to wound on his unit right there too. The catapult smokes the heavy infantry and kills 9 more guys. Just drop off that unit filler. They fail their freaking panic test and they're running. Leadership 9 rerollable. See you later. And then the handgunners kill a couple more Flagellants, which is like, whatever at this point. And down to combat. One of his Seeker Lord fighting the militia easily blows through them. And then my prelate starts fighting his Seeker Lord. He takes 1 wound this round. I think we got him down to just 1 other Seeker, so that's not too bad, even with the -1 wound up that we had. Oh, the Steam Tank takes 2 wounds, so it's got 5 wounds left, and then still 1 guy. This was like bumming me out so much. I don't know if it was between the grinds or not, but it was like, oh man, I needed to blow through that unit in 2 rounds. So EOS turn 3, I rally my heavy infantry. The flagellants have to charge to fail the frenzy test. They go in here. That's okay. We'll hold them up, maybe do a little bit of damage, and then my cannon shoots. Can barely see, and it shoots, and it kills the other Seeker Lord. So that was really nice, actually, because I could not have handled that other guy in combat. In combat over here, the flagellants only sneak through 2 wounds, and he does 4 wounds back to me. So obviously sick, I'm unbreakable, even though I lost by a bunch. And then in combat over here, the Steam Tank kills the last guy, but it takes 1 more wound, so it's down to 4 wounds. And then combat over here, he kills my prelate. Just couldn't withstand him. And then yeah, he's got 2 wounds on him right now, so I just need to sneak 1 more wound through him. Dwarven holds turn 4. Not really any movement going on there. A lot of my stuff is kind of hiding, out of position. You know, can't really do too much with my stuff right now. The Steam Tank gets shot by a cannon, and then the catapult actually finishes it off. It's like, oh my gosh! In 1 round, he just like just those 4 wounds. Steam Tank just takes off the table. So that was a bummer. This is EOS turn 4. I kind of missed combat. I'm pretty sure just my BSB died. So I'm just hiding my knights at this point, trying to save points, even though I don't like where they're hiding because they're so close to, they can all panic. Yeah, this is the board looks like. I have no movement. Everything's in combat, basically. The flagellants do a couple more wounds, and then they get smoked. And he just kind of, he just stays there, really. He doesn't really need to change his position. And then in combat, I was wrong, actually. He only had 1 wound on him, so now he's got 2 wounds on him. So we got to do 1 more wound. So he's starting to attack the Arcane Engine because, you know, he has like 10 attacks right now. It's crazy because Grim Resolve gives him 1 for everything in base contact. So he's got 10. He's got 6 attacks normally with his paired weapons, and he's got 4 more in base contact. Yeah, so he's pretty nasty. My cannon shoots his cannon. It does the minimum number of wounds, unfortunately. So it only does 2 wounds. So it would have been nice to get it to quarter or something. Yeah. He gets the -1 to wound spell off, which is just like driving me nuts. And then in his turn, he hits with his catapult. His catapult hit so many times this turn. Just keeps ripping these guys to pieces. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then in combat, he finally kills the Arcane Engine, which it was coming. But we kill his Seeker Lord at the same time, so finally get that 1 wound through. EOS turn 5, I go for the glory, and I try and charge the Imperial Guard into the handgunners. Not really too worried at this point. I pretty much know I've lost. I cast Immolation in front of the unit, just, you know, because I failed. He doesn't care. Turn 6, he charges the Immolation. He takes a decent amount of wounds, though. He passes his panic. Actually, I don't think they can fail their panic. I think they're immune to Psych or something like that. And then, yeah, so they get into combat. The Venom Seeker tried to charge, but he failed. And this is where we call it, you know. He's going to wipe the Imperial Guard. And, or actually, sorry, we had 1 more pick. I think I was trying to just cast some fireballs. Or yeah, this is all part of the final stuff. This is like all final turn stuff. You know, he beats the Imperial Guard. I try and do some fireballs. I think my cannon is still alive and it hits and wounds his cannon again, but it can't kill it, which really sucks. So, yeah. That's the end of the game, baby. Yeah, so all I have left is a few knights. like 4 heavy infantry, my wizard, and a cannon. He's got most of his... I killed all his seekers except the Vengeance Seeker. He's got his beginning to gray beards are still solid. Those 10 words are solid. All his war machines are solid. So yeah, this game is definitely going to the Dwarven holds. And again, the way we were playing the objective, you know, the way we played it, where we picked scoring units, he got all 3 of mine, and I got all 0 of his. This game ends up being an 18-2 for the Dwarven Helts. Gotta hand it to my opponent. He had a really fun list, really combat heavy. I wish I had a little bit more shooting. I wish I deployed a little bit better. He really kind of got me on the deployment. But yeah, it was a fun game. Quick little battle report for you guys. Hope you enjoyed watching. Playing a little playtesting right now, actually, but I'm going to put up some more 1.3 battle reports, and enjoy, guys!